wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
I'm so excited to have you guys on the show today.
Thanks for having us, Sparkle.
Thank you, Sparkle.
Thank you, Sparkle.
Thank you.
So initially, a couple of years ago, I think we had talked about the Rosé, the nightclub, and now it was just like a club idea of dancing and all kinds of cool stuff. But now it's so evolved, and it has so many facets, and now you guys are part of it. So tell us about the experience, Peter.
Yeah, well, we're from Trinity Development Center. We're a day program for adults with intellectual disabilities. So we provide all kinds of services from education, job training, writing skills, recreation, all kinds of fun stuff to do together and help them really achieve their goals. So, Marcy, tell us a little bit about the history of Trinity. You've been there the longest.
Hi, I'm Marcy, and I have been at Trinity Development Center since they opened 13 years ago.
Okay.
And Trinity Development Center to me is a place to call home. It is a place where you can have family there, and you're treated like a family member, not a consumer. Misty is someone that's important in my life. She's the one that runs the center, and she's very dedicated. And on my, I guess it's my right side. She's on my right. On my right is Katie, and behind me is my very best friend Gideon, and we are the community outreach team. And together, the three of us and the other team members that aren't with us today get things together to have social events. And
you guys have a lot of fun going on too.
Yes.
Like, I'm jealous. And like, there's everything. Every occasion, there's some party and dancing. Tell us about that.
And with that being, with the social part, I'm going to turn it over to my partner and my buddy, Katie.
Well, we do have our dances every Friday of every month from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Rosé. We do dances, we do karaoke, much activities for day programs and for people who have disabilities. It's fun, and it's really fun.
What's your favorite karaoke song?
I like different ones. I like The Climb, and I like I Love You for 1,000 Years.
Okay.
No, those are good ones.
Yeah, so that's something we host every Friday. So we have a sister business to Trinity Development Center's The Rosé. So Misty Daly owns that as well.
I love that. Okay, now I get there's two parts, and they're very different, but you guys all collaborate. I love that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the Rosé is a beautiful place.
Yes.
Yeah, they worked on it. So Misty bought the Rosé to give an opportunity for people with disabilities to have a place to work. So they do job training there during the day where they learn how to bus tables, waitress, clean the restaurant, do food prep, learn how to cook in the kitchen, everything to do with the restaurant. They get that hands-on training. So eventually the goal is so they can go out in the world and be able to work and be independent by themselves.
It seems like we could all benefit from those kind of classes, right?
Definitely we can. And then Gideon was going to tell us a little bit about some of the programs we like to do at Trinity.
Some of the classes, you mean?
Yeah, so some of the classes.
Okay, so we have different kinds of classes. Like we do like culinary, we do like media, and there's also art and community outreach, like right now, for instance. And so what we do in media, we do write our own songs. We get to perform in our own green room, in our own sound stage. So one of those students working there is Army team members. His name's Kalen Jones, and he writes a lot of songs.
Wow, that's really cool. You guys have that equipment.
Yeah, we have lots of equipment. And we also have so we have a little cafe that's in the program, and for the classes we do these classes to earn our food handler's license. I already earned mine, for instance, and right now I'm able to cook and prep food. And so in our cafe we I help prepare lunches, and I take the customers' orders and I bring them their food.
Yeah, Gideon does a great job. He worked
A lot of work.
Yeah, he worked really hard to get the food handler's license, and so with the chef we have there, he learns how to prepare all the meals, to take the orders, to handle the money, to deliver it, and use those skills over at the Rosé. And so we try to offer as much as we can for anyone who grew up with a disability, maybe didn't have those opportunities. We try to give those to them, or give that experience at least to the program.
That's a hard test. I took that one. Good job, Gideon.
Thanks.
How many times did it take you to pass it?
Luckily once, but barely.
Yeah, it took me one time too.
Good job.
I passed by 80%.
Wow, you probably got higher than me. I should have studied with you. And so, Gideon, you're also working on a story. Tell us about that. You're utilizing some of the writing.
So the story I'm writing is like a sci-fi and an action. So it's about like these like advanced civilization from another world known as the Evils. So in this story, it tells the story of Evil the Second and his younger brother, Evil the Third. So they spent years like trying to keep order in their own futuristic high-tech city known as Evil City. So Evil the Second's former best friend, who is now an enemy, his name is Beyond.
I like the names in this. This is really cool.
So
Yeah,
years ago,
really
he
was.
defeated Beyond, and he was banished from Evil City along with his loyalists.
All right, well, don't give away
we
the
don't
whole,
want to give too much
don't
away.
give away the
but-
whole story.
Okay, so I'll leave it right there.
Now we have a cliffhanger. So actually, and that leads me to, you guys promote a lot of your stuff on social media. Where can we follow you to see what you guys are doing?
Well, on Facebook, you can find us at trinitydevelopmentcenter.com.
Or at the Rose, we also have a profile for the Rose too.
The Rose on Instagram, or go to rosefresno.com. One thing we want to promote today is our New Year's Eve gala that's benefiting Trinity Development Center. And Marcy, you want to tell us a little bit about that?
We're going to be having our second annual New Year's Eve gala going at the Rosé. It's on December the 31st, 2024, from 7 till after midnight, of course.
Wow.
Doors open at 7. Ladies and gentlemen, there are no ticket sales at the front door. You have to go to the rosefresno.com to get your tickets. Or if you hear me clearly, you can call this number, 559-412-8996, for a special discount code, invitation.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So rosefresno.com, or find us on Eventbrite. So it's going to be black tie affair, balloon drop, champagne. We have the box band performing for us. And all the proceeds go to Trinity Development Center. We're rebuilding our Trinity Gardens that's behind Trinity Development Center. We're turning it into a flower nursery that our team members of the center are going to help to run. So we're going to learn how to plant, cultivate, market, sell those flowers to local businesses.
Oh, that would be great. I know a lot of people that want to buy stuff like that. So that would just be another great place that we can go and purchase that.
Absolutely. And we just want to give them that total experience. Hey, you guys have grown it, you've picked it, you've packed it up, you're going to sell it, you're going to do the transaction. So as much as we can, we give them as many opportunities as we can think of. And so we'll come up with ideas, they'll come up with ideas they want to pursue. And if there's any way we can make it happen, we make it happen.
Well, I think my roommate would love to be a part of that. She runs Tree Fresno.
Fantastic.
So I was looking for places to go and grab a new nursery. So that'd be really awesome, and she loves it. So yeah, it'd be great. This is so great what you guys are doing for the community. You got involved 13 years ago. How about you? How long have you been involved with Trinity?
I've been with Trinity for about a year now.
Yeah, me too. So last year I came.
This is when the program really got to where it is now. It was about a year ago, right? To where it developed into like every day, like 8-hour days.
So Trinity runs Monday through Friday from about 9 to 2, so it's a daytime program. It's been around, actually, just had their 14th anniversary.
Yeah.
And it's always been like that, where it's all day, 5 to 2. Okay, so it has been like that for a while. Okay.
Yeah. But no, we're growing and always trying to improve, and so we're always welcome to volunteers or other people who want to come in and give opportunities.
Right.
So for instance, some of the gals in what we call the daily market, which is where they're learning about kind of retail skills, they want to do a makeup class. They kept asking for it. We finally found someone who was qualified to work with people with disabilities, who was also a makeup artist. So every week they come in, they got their mannequin heads, all the girls and some of the guys love to come in there and get that experience because...
I'll volunteer. You guys can put my makeup on. We could have done that today. That'd be great.
And so, again, as much as we can, we try to give them as many experiences they have that they can possibly have to take them as far as they can on their goals. So we have people who are taking fashion design courses at our program, people working on getting their driver's license, some who are still working on learning their ABCs and their sight words, but then some who are writing TV pilots, and some who are recording full albums of music in our sound booth.
I think another one of your students, they have a YouTube channel where they interview people.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
with podcasts and just whatever they can come up with, we'll find a way to support them in doing it.
I love that. Well, hey, Peter, can we get our makeup done together? I think we should be the guinea pigs for that. I'll get mine with you.
I look pretty good at makeup, I guess.
The reason Katie and I are laughing is because we attend that class on Thursdays, and the people that have done the work with us have taught us a lot. There was some stuff I didn't even know.
You had all these skills you didn't tell me before we go on. Okay, next time, guys, next time. I love that. That's really cool. You guys get like some professional people, and you guys that's what you guys are learning better experiences than a lot of us are. So it's like, I want to come take classes here.
Right, we're always looking for volunteers. Maybe come do some fashion consulting.
This is so cool. And so these events, you have them quite often because you have something going on New Year's Eve, and then you also have something on Valentine's Day. Tell us about that.
Our Sadie Hawkins is our first annual Sadie Hawkins dance. We are excited. We did decorated signs and showed whoever we were asking for a date, we asked them at our dances, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, so all the girls, they spend days making their own "Will you go with me to the dance" signs with different things.
And nobody asked you, Peter? Oh my goodness.
And we got invited, and it's just so much fun. So yeah, like they say, at our dances, we invite all these different day programs who come out, and it's real community. It's a real night, afternoon out on the town anyways.
That's so much fun.
And so, yeah, well, you know me, so sometimes I'll do dance classes, sometimes I'll
you do.
I know.
open mic.
What I do, I sometimes entertain, like I'm on stage singing. Sometimes.
Gideon has a beautiful voice. He also does great impressions.
Oh no, don't do me.
Yeah, he does.
We just recently at the Rosé had who's going to be the next IDC karaoke idol, and the person sitting behind me, Gideon, took first. He was our champion.
No way. Where are you? Then there's prizes too?
There was prizes.
There's
Yes.
so
Gideon
many
took
cool
first.
Cash prizes. It was,
Yes,
it was
Gideon
like
was
a,
first place.
it was a 3-month contest, and we had a lot of people enter all kinds of categories.
You won cash too? How much did you win, Gideon?
I'm not really sure, actually.
It was maybe $40 or $50 or gift
That's
cards.
pretty cool.
We had a panel of judges and everything. So it was.
We did that
everything
too.
like an
we
American
did that
Idol.
too during dances too. We will have first, second, and third place too.
How fun.
Sometimes there can
Which
be
I won third
contests
place
for
when
like
we were dancing.
our different dances. We can have some contests.
Absolutely.
And guys, don't forget the open mic. That's where you bring your hidden talents out. It could be poetry. It could be a song. It
Comedy.
could be something that no one knows about, and it can be the best thing that ever happened to them.
Yeah.
So you're holding a picture there, which we'll put on a larger screen, of this beautiful woman. Tell us about her. And do you know the vision of why and when she started this? Like how it all came to be?
Misty Daly is someone that has inspired me. I have lived and been in Misty's life for over 35 years.
How'd you meet her?
Misty is my little sister. Her mother is Estelle Daly in Fresno, California, and Estelle has a group home, and I'm very lucky to be in her home. Misty is the kind of person, I met her when she was in 6th grade, and I've seen all of her children grow up. Misty had a brother that was handicapped. Her mom's son And when he died, it enticed Misty to work with people with disabilities. It melted her heart. And she's overlooked a lot of the time because she is a black woman. Me, myself, I see her as my sister, and I wouldn't change anything or anybody in the world for her.
I love that. That's a great story. So then she put this together basically in honor of her brother.
Yes, and her brother. And at the center, if you guys go on the Facebook page, there's a tour thing that's set up, and in the hallway, there's a big glass picture of Misty that she made up of her brother, pictures of her and her mom and the family in dedication of Eugene.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so, so the owner, Misty Daly, has been working with people with disabilities for so long that they're all just part of her family. And like she says, she's had people with special needs in her life for 35 years. And when she started to see some team members come home who they weren't getting the most out of the day programs that they were in, that's what's inspired her to do Trinity Development Center. She wanted to make a place, as she says, where dreams can come true, where it's not just sitting around all day. She's like, what's your dream? What's your passion? What's the thing that you don't dare to tell anyone that you wish that you could do? And if there's a way to help you get closer to that goal, every day will help you get a little bit closer. And that's really the vision. It
seems like you guys have a really great program. You have a lot of teachers. So you said how many adult student workers do you have?
What are we up to, Peter? About 70 people now?
No, we have about somewhere around 60 or so clients right now.
And then you said about 20 teachers.
Right, yeah, the staff who work with them and have different talents, and everyone who works there has different talent that they bring and share with the program.
You guys also do field trips.
Yes.
We have done field trips. We've been to Universal Studios overnight. We've been to Pismo Beach. Where else have we gone?
You guys have way more fun in your life.
We go to concerts. They take us to concerts. They take us to football games. They take us anywhere that is in the reach of a dream. If someone wanted to have it met, she does. Misty took one of the consumers one time to New York and met her dream and took her for a week.
And that means everybody watching that has businesses, anyone that come explore the factory or yours, they can write in and say, hey, come to our, gonna host you, huh?
No, absolutely. We're always looking for new experiences or new ideas. When someone comes to us with an idea, for instance, that team member wanted to go to New York, that was her dream.
But everybody couldn't go.
Well, what it was her dream. So we don't do things for them. We help them to do it for themselves.
Yeah, to get our ends meet, like me, knowing you already know, Sparkle, that I'm a huge New Kids on the Block fan, and you are too. And it's my ideal dream. I've already been to one concert. Misty took me to one of the concerts a couple of years ago. But it's my dream now, since they've moved into Las Vegas. It's my dream to go down there to Vegas for 4 days and see them running all over Vegas and try to meet up with them.
That is so cool. I love this.
Right. And going back to what we were talking about, the gal went to New York, is they helped her to budget her money, save and fundraise for 2 years. She was determined to do this goal. And after 2 years, she was able to save all the money she needed to go with her and the staff for, I think, more than a week to do everything that she dreamed of doing. And so that's the kind of things we do, is we'll help you get there. We want you to be part of it. We're not going to do it for you, but we're going to give you all the tools and support you possibly need, that if you're determined, you can get there.
What's the prerequisites to even enter into this, to be part of this?
So all of our team members are clients of what's called CVRC. It's the Central Valley Regional Center. So it's a private/government entity that funds all of our local care homes, providers, day programs, things like that, services that benefit people with intellectual or developmental disabilities. So if you know anyone who is a client of CVRC, they're eligible to come to our program.
What if they know someone that's not, but they think they know somebody that's eligible?
Well, give us a call. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Thank you guys so much for coming on my show. You guys are so much fun. I'm going to come to one of your events. They invited me, so stay tuned. We got to look up on the social media so we see when the next event is. But New Year's Eve is the next big one.
That's right.
Misty's great.
Find those tickets at rosefresno.com.
Thank you so much. thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
So you've been writing for a while. Tell us a little bit about the books that you have out there.
Okay, well, I started, my first books are for women 50 and up who have experienced some kind of change in their life and they want to fix their life or learn how to live their best life.
Is that why you started writing?
It certainly is. I found myself single and 60 and my world was kind of turned upside down. So my first,
I think so many people are these days. It's common now. I mean, that's a big thing.
Oh, it was life-changing. And so my first books were born out of that, trying to reinvent myself and figure out how to fix my life. So the first one is called Live the Life You Have Imagined, and it's about 30 steps or 30 ways, things that you need to start doing in your life if you want to get on track.
Start doing at any age?
Any age.
Okay.
Really, my son, who's in his 30s, he says, why is it geared for women 50 and up? And I said, because they need help. And he goes, well, this would work for anybody, and that is true. But that's who I've geared it for, because I think that people would relate to an older woman more.
And you wrote what you knew. You wrote what happened, so you wrote from experience.
Right. So the first book was actually not so much experience, other than I did put the steps to use to fix my life. And then I had a journal that goes with it, so you can track your progress, because often we don't realize that we're making progress unless we make notes and track it. And then I wrote a book called Single and 60, which was like a memoir of part of my life about what it was like to start over and learn how to be rely on myself and prove it to myself and to others that I could do it on my own. And that one was a bestseller on Amazon, and then we recently had it made into a movie trailer. And that was quite fun, and so we're hoping that someone will pick up the movie rights and put it on Netflix or something.
I mean, that really does have the title. That's a catchy, I see it going places.
And I looked the other day on Amazon, and in the last couple of years, you know, since I wrote my book, there are lots of other books with similar titles. So it's a thing right now. And I even hired someone to write this movie script, and I just finished it this week, and it's really hilarious.
Isn't that interesting, though, how different it is to write a book and a movie script?
Oh, right. And I learned very early on that you have to let go, because it's a creative process and everybody does it different. Like when they were filming the movie trailer at my house, it was like they were saying and doing things, and it was like, that isn't what happened. And but it's like, well, that's their creative license. And
that is a lot. That's a big, anybody would be like, that's my baby. What do you...
Right. You got to get over that.
Yeah.
And then when I just read the movie script, he took it even another step, and it's long enough to make a movie, and he changed a lot of the scenes, but the story's still the same. He did a great job.
I'm glad you like it. It seems like you're happy with it.
And he made it, and so is the movie. They made everything even funnier than it was when it happened.
That's the best.
Right. So it's great having some literary license in there.
So what's a little bit of the backdrop of why you became 60 and single? You could say that we're not spoiling the book or the story. Tell us a little bit about
what happened was I was working 3 jobs. My husband hadn't been working in a year, and he wasn't happy, and he just basically turned into a grumpy old man, and we'd been married 35 years. And one day he just got mad, and he decided he was going to leave. And I really didn't think he would really leave. I mean, he had it pretty good. I took care of everything. But the thing is, he was unhappy in himself. And that was something that I couldn't fix. No matter how many chores I did or how well I took care of everything, that doesn't affect his self-worth, because the problem was inside of him. It was something I couldn't fix.
I hear this story so much.
It was sad, and it's sad when it's somebody you love and you care about, and you can't do anything, and you can't help them get out of that hole. Anyway, so he was very unhappy, and he left, and he didn't come back. And interestingly enough, I wasn't so mad. I didn't this sounds mean. I didn't like cry and wish he would come back. I was like, I got to figure this out because I got a big house and I don't want to lose it.
You went into proactive mode.
Yes, I went into proactive. What am I going to do?
Great.
How am I going to fix my life? How am I going to get out of debt? And on and on and on. And I had not cultivated friends other than people that I networked with. I mean, I had no support system. I didn't have a clue, but I dug in real quick and real fast, and friends helped me do things like a lawyer and a financial planner, and just having girlfriends to go to talk to and go. I mean, I never even heard of stuff like self-care. I didn't know what it was. I was
when you're younger, they don't teach you that back.
No, they just tell you you're the wife, you do everything, and you take care of the kids, and you work, and you do the house, and I mean, it never would have crossed my mind that I would take a Saturday afternoon and go get my nails done or go to a movie with my friends. It would be like, no, Saturday is take the kids to soccer, and when you're done with that, clean the house, and then when you're done with that, make the grocery list, and on and on and on. And it never occurred to me. And I think that's something that hopefully the younger moms are learning, that you have to take care of yourself first. That was a totally new concept to me.
I think it's funny, if he wasn't happy or didn't feel adequate before, he leaves and you make a best-selling book, that must make him feel even less. He makes him feel worse.
He used to say snide things when we still were friends on Facebook, and he'd say snide things like, insinuating that I'm making a lot of money at his expense. But the book is not about male bashing. That's not what it's about. It's about accepting the situation the way it is and making the best out of it and moving on. And life has never been better. And honestly, him leaving was the best present he ever gave me, because then I could go live my own life, do my own thing, and not feel like I have to take care of him along the way.
Not feel guilty about your self-care.
Exactly. And I could find out what it is. And like I really like to travel. So I've been able to travel. And even though, I had a lot of debt, I figured out ways to go with relatives or friends that had accommodations and air miles. And, so my actual expense was limited. And I did things like, I sold my tractor one year and I used the money to pay for going to Europe for a month, and I just lived in Croatia and went to classes every day.
That is so
cool. And it's like it took a lot of guts, and we're talking at the beginning, I was so afraid to even drive to San Francisco by myself, and that's like 4 hours away, and then ended up a little bit further, and then I went to Europe by myself. Now, I'm not saying it was all roses and wonderful. I got scared, but I had to figure it out. And it's amazing what you can do when you have to. And I think that's what the story's about, is proving to yourself that you can really do it. And you don't need a man. You don't need a man to be happy. You don't need a man to be successful. All that's great. And I'm not bashing men, because I do love men. But it's just, you don't have to be a needy female. That you don't have to go through life like that. We're capable of a lot more.
I got to get this book for my mom. I mean, she has like a lot of similar. I mean, her husband had passed away. It's like now what? Now she's afraid to drive like that. So, oh my goodness, I think there's happened so much. You kind of have to be in that down place where you go, this isn't working, and I'm willing to try whatever. So that kind of leads into the next thing. So while I was trying to figure out how to fix my life, I did something I had never done before, and that I said, I'm going to spend 15 minutes a day to read a book that I want to read. That's not a business book or a real estate book or something like that. Just 15 minutes?
Yes.
That's so hard to put the cap on that.
Well, it was like, because I'd never done anything for myself. So so I found that I could actually sit and read the book, and the book was about intuition. It's called Practical Intuition, because I'd always been kind of interested in that, and but I didn't have time to do that. If I was going to read, it better be the next course for my real estate test or something like that.
You're always all preparation. You never do anything for fun. That's
no
so
fun.
In that mode, you couldn't even
plain
read for
Jane,
fun.
no fun. So I started doing this, and I learned how to be quiet. And I was what I self-describe myself as a spiritually starved workaholic. So I never had time to think about the meaning of life. I was too busy doing and stuff. So reading this book and learning to be quiet, it was nice to stop all the chatter and the to-do list stop, and you could just it sounds spacey, but I just sit and look at the clouds and relax and think about, well, you know, that cloud might be a this or that could be that. And I mean, you let your imagination flow.
Meditation.
So, yes. So it led to meditating and being quiet. And then I started hearing voices, and I didn't really know what it was, but I was so desperate for answers. I would ask questions, and then I would hear voices telling me, and I'd write it down. And then these were really good things about how to get your life in order and stuff. So it became a daily task, and though I didn't really know how it worked, I didn't really know about, it could be your higher self, it could be your intuition, or spirit guides, which I had a spiritual friend who told me, well, that's what it is. It's your spirit guides. You're not crazy. And I was like, well, that's good because it's helping me, but I didn't know, I couldn't really tell anybody. She was the only one I told. And it ended up that it kept progressing in my quiet time, that I felt like I could connect to people. And it really became super evident when I finally started dating, and I met someone that I felt like I already knew. And I felt like we were reading each other's thoughts, and mind reading. And but I didn't know what it was at first, but it was so awesome. And it was like being with somebody that totally understands you, totally loves you just the way you are, and you feel like that towards them, but feeling like it was something really strong about feeling like I already knew him, like I was already married. I kept asking in my quiet time, what the heck is this like? And that's when I started finding out about past lives and how we have multiple lifetimes to learn and grow, and that we are here on earth to learn and grow. That's the purpose. God or whoever our higher power is created earth as a playground for learning. I learned that I was taking life way too seriously, for one thing, but it opened a whole can of worms, and I learned that I could connect to people that had passed. I started being so good at it. If I thought about anyone for more than 3 seconds, I could hear them speaking to me. So it got a little bit intrusive. So
how did you know at first? Was it people that you knew that had passed, or just random people that had passed? At what point did you really connect the dots?
Well, first it was connecting with this gentleman. Okay. And he would tell me, we would have like whole conversations, and he would tell me different things, and but we weren't speaking in person, right? But I could go on the internet and find them out, and they were true. Like people that he had hired, or that he sold his house and bought another house, different things about his family and stuff like that. And so after a while, I realized that it worked. But I did talk to family members that had passed. Like I would be thinking about my father, and then I could hear him talking to me. Or I would be thinking about my brother. They've both passed, and I could hear him talking to me. And I would ask him questions, and it helped to solve so many questions. And then I thought, well, if this works, and it seems like it does, then I'm going to talk to my grandfather, my father's father, who died. I never met him. He died when my father was 12. And I asked him a lot of stuff about our family situation and why things were the way that they are. And it answered so many questions. I was, you can't change anything, but you can change how because you understand it, it doesn't bother you anymore. So you can kind of move on. So I've done it quite a bit with family members that have passed, and asked them why did they pass away, and that was enlightening. I've had friends who had elderly parents, and I've done the same to find out why they passed or what happened. It's very interesting. Even have tried it with famous people and found out answers to things, like famous people that died and why they died and stuff like that. I think what happened to kind of show my family and to prove it to myself, a few years ago, it's probably been 4 or 5 years ago, at Christmas, I wrote everybody that was coming for Christmas, I wrote a little note card for them, because I thought, what could I give them that would be really different, that they can't get anywhere else, like you can't get on Amazon. So I connected to a past loved one for everybody that was there. There was only like 6 of us, and I asked them to give the person a message. And so it'd be like the one for my son, it was a message from his grandfather, my dad, and it said blah, 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 and stuff, something meant for him. And then I did the same for my mother. I had a message from her mother. And then my brother and my stepbrother and his wife, my sister-in-law, had messages. And my sister-in-law, you know, because they had only been married like maybe 10 years and I didn't grow up with her, so I didn't know her or anything before. So I didn't know her mother. That's who I spoke with. So she told me some details that there's no way I could have known. So the message from her was, you know, it was personal about your mother and the message. And then at the end, she said, Mom and Tootsie. And when I was transcribing it, I was thinking, I don't know who Tootsie is. I'm thinking of that movie, you know, where the guy
Right.
dresses up like a woman. And I'm going, but I don't want to change it. I'm just going to say what the message is. And so I gave everybody the cards at dinner, and I said, take them home. Don't read them now, because I didn't want to ruin the dinner. You know,
That's distracting.
Yeah, that would be a little distracting. Everybody went, what the heck? And so they left. They had to go some other places. And so that night they called me like at 10 at night, and they said, how do you know about Tootsie? And I go, I don't know, who's Tootsie? And they said that Tootsie was a neighborhood dog that was always over at their house, always visiting them. And so their mom wanted to know that wherever she was, Tootsie was with her. And I was like, whoa. And I don't know, they've never said anything else to me about it, so I don't know that, I think that might have scared them off. But other family members are finally, you know, coming around.
So you've written books about this?
Yes, so I wrote a book. I was told in my quiet time that I was going to be given a book to download from archangels, and that I needed to get pens and paper ready. And so I'm like, okay, like whatever, I'm just a dutiful girl, like I'll do whatever you say. And I thought, what's the worst that could happen? It doesn't make sense, and I throw it away, right? So they started waking me up between 2 and 4 in the morning to get up and transcribe this. And at first it was hard because I was so sleepy.
Well, yeah, you have a real life and job and everything.
Yeah, so I would get up and I would transcribe it, and then I'd go back to sleep and get up in the morning and read it. And it was like, oh my gosh, this makes sense. And this is what, I'm not this smart. Like, how can this be? And it was things like why we are here, and what happens when we all die, and that sort of thing. And the gist of the book is 100 lessons, the first 100 lessons that we as humans on Earth need to learn. And it was very, very interesting. It's kind of like reading the Bible, but you don't have to go to church and have the pastor explain it. It's like 5th grade level, and it's things that we all know, but we are probably not doing. Because if we were acting in this way, our world would be totally different.
Yeah, we're not living to our height.
Right. And it's things like, you know, judgment is reserved for God, and it talks about telling the truth. It talks about faith and trust and that sort of thing. But it gets a little more involved, and then the chapters are pretty short, but they'll have a little story in there so you can understand how it applies, and then you start going, oh, I get it. Like when if you're around someone and they're all upset and they're yelling at you and stuff, instead of you going, well, they're being mean and hateful and I'm just going to be mean and hateful back, you need to step back and think, well, you don't know what they've been going through. Maybe they have some terrible thing in their life right now. Maybe they just found out they have a terrible disease, or their spouse died, or their child's hurt, or, you know, you don't know. And they might be upset about something that doesn't even have anything to do with you. And so we need to learn to be more loving and kind to others. And the main idea in the whole book is that we are all connected. Some people know that a little bit, but we are all truly connected to each other as human beings. And we are also connected to all the animals and the plants, the environment, the sky, everything. We are really connected to everything. So once you adopt that way of thinking and you live your life differently, because you wouldn't go and shoot somebody because that's like shooting your leg, because
Right.
it's part of you. It's a different concept, and so that's why you have to read the book and go through levels. And the book's called The New I Am Document, Volume 1. So it's been published, and it was a bestseller. I would like to get more people to read it because I'd like more people to live like that. Volume 2's been downloaded, but I need to get it edited and ready to publish. And then I just started in the last week downloading Volume 3. So I'm excited to get back on track and start getting the word out there.
So when you say you transcribe a lot for Can you ask questions as well? Sometimes you're getting stuff.
Well, I do ask questions, but not when I'm transcribing a book, because it just comes the whole thing right in a row.
You gotta wait, and then you have a question you can ask.
But when in my quiet time, I ask questions, or I do when I'm connecting to people that have passed, I call it soul connections. So I ask questions, and I'll do that for people. Like, I have events at my home, and then I can also do it privately. And the people will write out the full name of the person, and if it's a group setting, there's just one question because it would take too long. But if it's private, you can ask 3 questions, and then I just ask those questions, and then relay what the person's saying. Usually they elaborate a little bit more.
And then you said a lot of times we have a good deep sense of like what happens when we die, because I've studied a lot about past lives.
Okay.
And so my question about a lot of it is the timeline. Some people say it's because we have parallel lives, but when you're saying you're talking it's back, it's your great-great-grandfather, it's like, at what point is he living in his new life and going into a new body, and is he still able to talk to you at the same time? You know what I mean?
I know.
And then I've heard sometimes they could linger where it's like when they're freshly dead, it's easier to communicate, and then after a while they're going into a new life. So what has been your explanation through that?
Well, I'm still learning, and I'm sure I don't know everything. I have talked to people that have died centuries ago, and I didn't have any trouble. It didn't make any difference. I have talked to people that are from other countries and don't speak English, and that doesn't make any difference because I don't hear the words in English. I think it's more like feelings.
Okay.
And then I'm kind of like translating it, but it happens so automatically that the only time that it feels that I can tell that that's what's happening is when it's a word and I can't think of it. It's like 2 words in English and I can't think of what the word would be. So that's why I think it's more like I'm feeling it. I have been, my experience is a little bit that people can be at 2 places at one time, but I don't know how that works. And I know what you're talking about, parallel lives, because time is a constraint that they just use that humans use, but I still trying to wrap my head around how everything could be now and then and the future.
Some things are confused. Yeah, and I understand that. So
I'm still
going deeper and deeper each time.
Right, right. And like the past lives for myself that I've discovered, because I was so interested, I kept asking and asking. I found out that I have like 6 or 7 lives with this gentleman, and so that was why I felt like this strong connection. And when I'm having those experiences, I ask a lot of questions. That's when I'm writing down what year it was, what was my name, what were our children's name, how did we die, where did we live, and so I can try to find ways to prove it, but most of it.
Did you find in your past life information?
I found out lots of it. The last one was in the, it must have been the 1800s, and they told me what was going on. It was in the United States. They told me what was going on, and I was able to look up some of the information. They told me that we were in one state and we moved to another state, because I kept having these visions. Had the visions like 20 years before I even met this guy.
Were you always a female and he was always a male, or sometimes it was switched?
So far, the only ones I've discovered are like that. But there was a reason that we went from one state to another, and I found out I was told it had to do with our religion, and I researched that, and I found out that there were people in that, it was in Missouri, and they were leaving because they were Mennonite and they wasn't being accepted there. And it was during the time that Lincoln was president, and they were giving land grants, and so we went to one of the places, and then I looked on a map, and it was right along the Santa Fe Trail, so it was like, wow, that seems like it all makes sense to me. But I haven't been able to do anything as far as research names and that kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's still really fascinating. I used to run, so I was running competitively for a couple of years, and you have to run like 70 miles a week, and a lot of it's alone, so it's boring. So I would just ask for a past life, and I would like watch it while I'm running.
That's really cool.
And I call it visioning, that really made the time go by really fast. And I'm like, wow, why would anybody go home and watch TV when you could just do this? Like, this is really cool.
Have you thought about trying to solve murders that way too, with asking people who have passed away been murdered?
I'm sure that could be done, but
I've heard it has been. So
yeah,
I would love to know about the Jack the Ripper. There are like some things that would be really cool to kind of find out. That's what, if I had the power, I would love to use it for something like that.
I have asked some people like Lee Harvey Oswald and people like that about what happened, and it's pretty interesting, and I'm working on a book on that, and I just need a couple more people to interview, and then I can tie it up.
That'd be really cool.
But I'm calling it Soul Connections, because it's really interesting. Like, for that book, I've talked to Eve, Amelia Earhart, Nikola Tesla, different people like that, and I found it really interesting. And if you want to know what any of them are, you could watch on my YouTube channel, Janie J Soul Connector.
Awesome.
I have one on there of Nikola Tesla, and that was pretty interesing. So,
what about your social media? Where can we follow you and see what like your books
I'm on Facebook. I think it's Janie J Author. My last name is Jurkovich. I have a fan page. I do have Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn.
So YouTube, what's the best thing that we should look at you?
Well, the best thing would be if you're interested in spiritual stuff, the Janie J Soul Connector, because there is like over 100 videos. And then I have a website for the spirituals, and that is thenewIammovement.com. And there's lots of videos. I explain in there about being a medium. There's a little documentary about it. I explain about my mission. There's like poems that I have downloaded. They've made into videos. And then if you're a woman over 50 and you just need some encouragement, I would go to janiej.net. And you can sign up to be in my Facebook group. You can get emails, that kind of thing.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I can't wait to see the progress and when the movie gets made. And let's stay in touch.
Yes,
so you can come back and tell us the progress.
That sounds great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry.
You're back.
I'm back.
Oh my goodness. That was a great show last time. It was like my virgin time of doing wrestling. So thank you.
You're a veteran now. Congratulations. It was a great show. We had so much fun. We had about 500 people there, as you know. And it was an amazing show.
Where'd you put our behind the scene videos? We have a lot of videos back there.
Yeah, we do. We had some sound issues, and our little our film person wasn't qualified enough to use the microphone, so everything was jittery and didn't sound right, but we're hoping to still get some stuff out of it for the DVD. We're still producing the show, so.
Oh, right on. And then you said a lot of it went to pay-per-view or whatever, actual film.
We have a site, fightingspiritpro.com. It's now an on-demand streaming service, so you can order the show pay-per-view, you can order it match by match.
But it's not live, though.
It's not live,
yeah. You get it, like, how soon after the shows?
The last show was a couple weeks. This show, we're hoping to get that a lot faster. Just getting used to the logistics and all that kind of stuff. We actually have 2 shows in January. January the 4th is Hybrid Havoc, and January 14th is our Merced show, and it's a charity show for the Merced High School Bears wrestling team, and it's going to be there at the high school gym. We're hoping to get about 1,000 people in there. It's going to be a fun time, and then yeah.
Well, that was a success last night. It was like, so there was no more room to sit, so people really have to kind of jump on that.
We literally added chairs at the last moment. The good thing is now with our online ticketing system, you can actually go in and reserve specific seats. So yeah, you can go in and you can pick exact seat you want. We've already sold. I think we're 3 weeks out, and I think we've sold just over 100 tickets so far. So that's a great pre-show. And with these local shows, a lot of it just the weather, the walk up, that kind of stuff. We are doing something different this time. Instead of handling the concessions, we decided to hire a couple taco trucks.
That's probably helpful.
So my really good friend Justin Dukes of Downtown Dukes Sandwiches, he also owns Shenanigans and Dukes Barbecue in Old Town Clovis. He runs a truck now. It's called Comfy Food Truck, and they are absolutely amazing. They've got lobster mac and cheese. They do lobster rolls.
My goodness, that's my
they've got
favorite
phenomenal.
thing to eat.
They've got phenomenal sliders, and they're bringing another group with us. It's called Churro-tastic. And so it's a churro and coffee and hot chocolate and drink stand. And so instead of doing the pizza and the sodas and all that kind of stuff, we're going to set up the 2 trucks right outside. While people are coming into the show, they can get their food, they can bring it inside. And then, of course, during intermission. And we're going to have another special surprise at the show for my grandfather, who's probably not watching, but we're going to ruin the surprise right now if he is. It's his birthday. My grandfather's 90th birthday is on January 4th. So we're going to do a little gimmick, the birthday cake, and we're going to sing happy birthday to him and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, me and my grandpa are real close, and he's always been super supportive, and he lost his son recently. And so this is going to be a really, fun event for him and stuff too. So I've got 30 or 40 family members, a whole house full of Coxes. It's going to be great.
And there were so many surprises last time. I was surprised. You always kept it all.
And that's the best part about this show. We only have 5 matches announced so far. Pretty much everything else is going to be a surprise. We have a world title match. We have a Radiance Women's match. We're going to crown new world tag team champions, and we're going to crown a new the hybrid champion, which is a mixed weight division. People that are a little more athletic, people that don't often get a chance to be seen, people that are maybe a little smaller than the big stars. You got the Hulk Hogans and the giant muscle-bound guys. You need to have an opportunity for those lower weight guys to show what they can do. And so that hybrid division is going to be all about that. It's for those hybrid athletes that, can absolutely go in the ring.
So who do I get to beat up this time?
I'm not sure. We do have a Radiance Women's match.
Oh, so and who's fighting in that?
That's going to be
people.
Yeah. At maximum effort, Jen Savani won over Maney, and so she earned herself a chance at the Radiance Championship. Fallen Gray is our Radiance Women's Champion, and she's coming in from Arizona. She's going to be on the show, and she's going to defend her championship. And it was a hard reign. It's been a hard reign for her, and the people that have been signing up to face her and coming out of the woodwork, and the people that are just signing up to have these matches are just spectacular. We've had 3 or 4 women's Radiance matches at the past few shows, people earning their way into the title match, and then of course they get to face Fallen. They get to try and take that strap off her. And she took it under, odd pretenses. She fought her way for the belt, and, a lot of people were debating whether or not she could carry this belt. So we're going to find out on January 4th. It's going to be awesome. And it's my daughter absolutely loves. She dressed up as Fallen for Halloween, and so she absolutely loves it. It's going to be a great match. We've also got the World Tag Team match. Our friend Nick. And Nick, the Wise Guy, and Dave Dutra, the Golden Era, they're going to be facing.
Yeah, they did great. The Golden Era boy, well, kind of. They kind of did great, kind of not.
Well, they were set in an odd situation. This is what happens when one of those big time stars comes and interferes with the matches and gets involved. Joe Hendry wasn't announced for this match, and he came in and had this phenomenal match. Him and Gabe versus the Golden Era at maximum effort was awesome.
And who was the other really famous guy that was there?
That was Brian Cage.
Yeah, and that was like, these were some really big people, and they were really awesome. It was really awesome how accessible they were. Like, anybody who goes to the show, if you want to meet them, you pretty much can.
Oh, absolutely. So these indie shows are great for that. You want autographs, you want to meet the guys, you want to take a picture with them. We've got AEW stars, we've got TNA stars, former WWE guys. We've got a demon on this week's show, this month's show. You never know what you're going to get. In fact, one of the things that I'm really, really looking forward to, we've got this guy's named Santana Jackson, and he is a legit Michael Jackson impersonator. And he weaves this Michael Jackson impersonation into his ring, into his matches.
That is so cool.
So when he's going to whip someone into the ropes, he's doing it while the moonwalk. when he's climbing across the top ropes, he's doing it with the strut.
Does he
and the
sing
whole,
at all? Or is it all
Oh no,
lip sync?
he's got the voice too.
No.
Oh yeah, you chop him and you hear the hee and all that kind of stuff.
Oh
This
my
guy is
God.
absolutely amazing.
Well, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, so I love that.
No, this is going to be great. My wife is really, really looking forward to this too. And Ring of Honor star, All Elite Wrestling star Danhausen, a resident demon, is going to be facing this. So this is going to be an absolutely amazingly entertaining match. These two guys can go in the ring. They're not just character. They're not just there for the show. Danhausen is a former Ring of Honor champion. He's done some big things. They're both on TV all the time. You can catch them both on YouTube. Santana Jackson, or Danhausen is Danhausen's name, obviously. And we're really, really looking forward to that match. And it's the big deal for this show. It's what's going to put the butts in the seats, as they say. Everybody's going to want to come and see this.
This is also in Atwater.
This is Atwater Community Center on January the 4th.
Which is cool. I really like that area because I didn't know what to expect and where exactly it was until I went there, and I like it a lot. And I've always liked Atwater. I like where that's actually located.
Yeah, no, we've got
centralized to like everything.
That's the whole point.
You're not in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
People think that.
You're 2 hours from San Francisco. You're an hour and a half from Sacramento. You're in less than an hour from Fresno. It's the legit place, and it's a consistent venue for us. Some of our competitors in town are losing their venues. One of the other companies that's around, they were going to do a show at one of the local breweries, and the brewery decided to shut down and cancel their show. So now it's a hard market, and so having a consistent venue and being able to be consistent and know where your show is going to be every time.
And you kind of need to know the spot. You got to need to own the spot. You can't really have anything else happening there.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
a brewery want to be open for that, you can't. You have to be devoted to the show.
And it's a little hard. It's not impossible. I've done some bar shows, but doing a show at a brewery is a little difficult, especially when you want to run a family-friendly show.
Right.
You want to bring the kids. My kids work the show, as you know. One of them was a cameraman. My family was running concessions.
Oh, I know. I put them to work too.
You can't do that at a brewery.
Right.
You can't do that at the fair, really. There's that kind of atmosphere that Fighting Spirit Pro, spreads across the valley. And as we talked about earlier, Merced High School, we're doing a charity show on the 14th of January for Merced High School, and it's obviously a family-friendly show. The school gives us the gym, and we set up our ring, and we do the whole thing, and then
Even
they get
though
to
it's
keep
violent, it's family-friendly.
Exactly.
Well, they enjoy. It's really fun as a kid. I mean, I never got to go to anything like that as a kid, but to see the chairs, that's pretty fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's like the theatrics are fun.
That's one of the best parts, and it's the whole atmosphere. It's the food, the getting together, the jokes. Tim did a fantastic job on ring announcing. He was cutting jokes in between matches.
Yeah, he was okay.
He was keeping things lively. It was a lot of fun, and they all get better. We had
I think so.
We had technical issues with the first show. The second show, we got them all ironed out.
Yeah, we didn't have any of that the second one.
The third show, we've got some really cool video things set up, and the guys are going to have entrance videos, and it's just not going to just be the music this time. In fact, another one of my kids is working on that. My daughter Julie's setting up all the video equipment with the DJ.
That's on Saturday, first Saturday of the year.
The first Saturday.
So everyone needs to mark their calendars. I knew a lot of people that wanted to go to that one, and they had this, that, and the other. But I'm going to be on everyone to come Saturday.
And we can't forget the main event of the show. Alpha Zoe, the Fighting Spirit Pro Heavyweight Champion, is defending against TNA star, AEW star, Star of the Dark Order, if people know what that is, Alan Angels. Alan Angels has been tearing things up on the East Coast. You've seen him on TV, pay-per-view. He's doing huge things. He's in phenomenal shape, and he's coming to challenge our Fighting Spirit Pro Champion. Alpha Zoe earned that title. He's been celebrating. He's been, kicking ass all across the state, too. And it's really, really going to be a hard match, and I can't wait to see that one. That's one of those where I have to take off the uniform and sit down and watch the match because I love professional wrestling, and that's one of those you just catch yourself stopping to watch, and this will be a really fun show.
What about the brothers? The brothers I walked out with, are they coming back?
They will be back eventually, not on this show. Yeah, the Rico brothers, they lost to the Krusty Crew, so they dropped themselves down the totem pole a little bit, and they've They've got to work themselves back up to the big show.
But the Krusty Crew will be back.
The Krusty Crew will be back. The Krusty Crew is challenging for the championship. They're challenging Dave Dutra and Wise Guy for the Fighting Spirit Pro Tag Team Champions. They have an opportunity to be one of the first ever Fighting Spirit Pro Tag Team Champions. Definitely the first time in the new era. And so this is going to be awesome. The belts are still getting made. They're getting all shined up and made for us. So that's going to be awesome. And so that would be the golden era. You've got Dave Dutra. We love Dave Dutra. And Nick has been on the show many, many times, the Wise Guy. And they've got that same opportunity. The two teams are going to face each other, and one of them is going to come out champion.
That is so awesome. Well, I love it. It's always a pleasure having you here. I'm really excited now that I know what to expect, or don't know what to expect. I think that's you don't know what to expect.
You never know what to expect. Yeah, we've only announced 5 matches, and usually they've got 7 to 8 on a show.
But
so,
you guys, I couldn't believe the big names you had, because I'm back there like looking and scrolling, because the wrestling's kind of new to me, and then I was like, oh my gosh, these people have done some amazing things.
Right.
And to bring them all in one place, and I mean, it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, we really lucked out getting Brian Cage. AEW, the national or worldwide touring company, was in town. Made a phone call. He's a former Fighting Spirit Pro champion. It was, hey Brian, can you come and do this? We've got a spot in this match. The Big Money Ish got hurt. He got attacked. Chris Nasty and his boys took him out, so we had a spot in the match, and it was kismet. It was just meant to be, and it was absolutely awesome. And Alpha Zo ended up winning that match, ended up taking the championship. So yeah, big Hollywood, big worldwide wrestling star in our main event. It was
the
huge
best
surprise.
looking guys I've seen in town in a very long time, girls. So you ladies need to come out here. It actually is a good date night. You guys could actually take,
there's something for both sides of the family. Right? You know, you've got the wrestling and the action for the guys, and you've got the big muscled up oiled guys and their Speedos for the girls, and it's a great time, really is. Bring out the whole family. Atwater Community Center. Tickets start at just $20. You can get them at fightingspiritpro.com. You can choose your own seats now, and we're going to have a blast. It's going to be absolutely awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
I will see you January 4th.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here. Oh, I must confess, dear. Don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do. And there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a